everyone, and welcome to the new episode of the We Talk Talent series, Season 5, the show where we bring you insightful conversations with top HR leaders shaping the future of talent management. Today, I have the privilege of welcoming Sriram V, CHRO, bankbazaar.com. Sriram, welcome, and it is a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure too.
Thank you. And so, yes, for my audience and viewers, before we dive into the discussion, I would take a moment to briefly introduce today's speaker to all of you. With over 20 years of dedicated service, Sriram has been the driving force behind the strategic people agenda in Indian multinational and captive IT organizations. His expertise spans HR, leadership, and organizational change, where he has been consistently propelling initiatives to achieve business outcomes. Sriram's recent focus has been on collaborating closely with business leaders to navigate the organizational change, facilitate leadership transitions, and ensure seamless succession planning. His track record includes spearheading the large scale transformation projects and contributing to external recognition for outstanding people practices within the organization. Sriram definitely continues to be a champion on organizational excellence and fostering collaborative growth. So, Sriram, thank you so much. What an honor to have you in this episode. And I'm not going to waste any minute, and I'll straight away jump into the first question. According to you and the industry demands, what type of skill shortages do you think is causing the talent war?
Well, see, given the scenario where we are today, right, talent war has to be redefined. The talent war, talent per se, and talent supply and demand getting very, very closely integrated with the macro markets. They are even integrated with global affairs and global markets. Someone is getting cold in US, someone is sneezing in India. So that's a fact of the matter, which is not the case when I started my career, right? Not to this extent, but we are very deeply integrated, and this integration is getting deeper and deeper. So therefore, this talent has to be seen on a global lens, and there's not going to be any talent which will be very specific to a industry, a country. It will be very globally modeled. So given this as the background, the new background or newly realized background, what we should probably look at is that these demands will always be there for a resource who can be deployed globally. When I say deployed globally, it can be deployed by a company from Kashmir to Kanyakumari or from San Francisco to, let's say, Tokyo, right? The fact is, if the person can be deployed by multiple industries, if he or she has a skill set, then it becomes the most sorted person for all, right? That's a new definition of how we should look at talent. Talent is highly mobile these days, right? Talent is hybrid work adds a new flavor. Gig working adds another flavor. So what has happened in the last, I would say, a few years, especially COVID and post-COVID, there has to be a redefinition of various things what we've been doing, and only those companies which are realizing and adjusting their talent strategies only will make the maximum out of this talent war. Therefore, to me, the skill which is in demand are those who are highly mobile and those skills which are very portable and skill which can be transformed to the newest, right? If you have a particular skill, if it can be converted or transitioned to an AI skill today, you are the most required, right? So surprisingly, if you know, AI is just not into one space. They are in the US, all the colleges are spacing AI in biotech heavily, right? So we probably thought AI is only into certain computer related work, but a lot of genetical work, pharmaceutical work is now using AI because of the big data supply. Therefore, someone who's having a bio plus a computer savviness or a skill and plus an AI transition will be a great talent across the world. So likewise, every domain, every space, I repeat, there are three categories I see. One is someone who's very mobile, someone who's
Yeah.
very strong in their current domain, and third, someone who can transition to the newest skill very quickly, right, with minimum guidance, are those people who are in great demand ever, and they continue to be now also.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Shriram. I think I couldn't have agreed more. Of course, it's about being mobile. Of course, it's about, kind of being in your domain and being adaptable. These are some of the highlights that you've put it out so beautifully for the audience. That really brings me to the next question, Shriram, that if we talk about the first skill sets and the kind of, importance that it draws upon, how do you see the importance of skills and specifically the soft skills evolving in the future, which is so volatile right now? So what is your take on that?
So this word VUCA, right, volatile, maybe probably a decade old if I'm right. So we continue to be more volatile and more volatile as we move, because new things prop up the world to remain volatile. Now this volatility is nothing but interconnected. We are more connected. Therefore, they are more volatile because more information flows, right? More real-time information flows, more real-time interactions and reactions happen. Therefore, we will become more volatile. I think volatility will increase as we get more connected and more informed, right? So therefore, in the current volatility, what's happening is the individual identity is a very big crisis. In an organization context, it's a big crisis. Am I working for this team? Am I a contributor? Am I a best manager? So there are so many complications, especially when you work on a hybrid mode, remote mode. This is a big challenge. Now, therefore, there is definite requirement for to be a lot more empathic. The empathy as a skill will be the most required, right? For any, just not the manager, as a colleague, it is more required these days. If I work with you, right, and you work remote, I work remote, probably we haven't met. But the point is, if I and I had no time to interact with you personally, so I know few things. But the moment I can empathize with you because we do shared work, that you are operating on certain constraint, on certain strength, then it becomes a lot more easier for you to collaborate with me, a lot more easier for me to work with you. So this empathy as a skill, as something as a requirement, has to now come to all, in my view. Uh, the problem in the past was empathy was most generally pushed to the leaders as a
Yeah,
requirement, was pushed to the HR people as you need to be empathetic to the workforce. I'm saying everyone has to be empathetic. In the current
absolutely.
context of thing, everyone, if they have to be accepted and are enjoyed as a colleague, that's the most important skill set, I think, soft skill I would ask for. I would even ask this to be a session in the colleges, right, where the to be soon professionals or workers, they've been taught. An engineering student needs to be told that you will see people of different varieties, categories, orientations will come to you, and you may be junior, fresher, whatever. In whatever capacity, you should have that skill. You may even deal with a supplier, right, who may run a small scale industry and supply something to you. You should know how to be empathetic to him because he operates on terrible constraints. So therefore, this as a skill is the counter for the volatility of the world. If we all are empathetic, at least between humans, or I mean across the living beings, I think we probably will be a lot more, you know, um, safer and steadier. And that's my view.
True.
And it will reduce all the other stress-related activities, the
Yeah,
mental wellness. I think it all start from here.
correct.
Yeah.
It definitely stands the ground. And I think it's high time that we push the contours of empathy and let it not be, I mean, the way you pointed out, Sriram, that it is not just a leadership
Yeah.
prerogative, it has to be an organization wide.
Everyone, right? Yeah, we are
Absolutely.
person traveling 2.5 kilometers, I mean 2.5 hours, coming without an ID card. The security should know how to be empathetic with them. I'm
True.
just saying starts. everywhere, irrespective of who you are, right? It can't be rule based anymore,
Mm,
right? I mean, it has to be very, very, you need to have that hat always.
correct.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Sriram. I think that's a beautiful way of putting it out and how important it is, what is the criticality, and how easy it is to imbibe. I love that it holds a lot of importance. It's very paramount. But when it comes to the execution or the adoption part of it, it's very simple, like you said. So thank you. Thank you for that. And Sriram, that really kind of prompts me to just think a little beyond and if we say above and beyond this question that we've talked about the soft skills, we've talked about the overall talent war. That also kind of unveils another perspective, which is the DEI. So I'm definitely going to ask you this: that if you could throw some light on your DEI agenda and how it's kind of evolving for the newer set of the world, it would be really really like a great value add for our audience.
So Bank Bazaar as an organization is very aggressively, actively taken up the AI journey. We have, I think we probably, the CEO himself actually had a tone of type of a session and demonstrated how we are adopting AI to all employees. This happened a few weeks back. Um, just to tell people that how we as a company adopting. In fact, he showed live cases demo himself. I'm just trying to explain how serious are we with this.
Yeah,
What we believe as a organization which has a fair amount of where the average age group is probably 25, right? Um, what we continue to ingrain in them is technology waves will keep coming, right? There are smaller waves, there are larger waves.
yeah,
The larger waves will touch everyone. There's no way to escape, right? So you should know how to maximize that. The companies which adopt, we can't stay away from internet. Now, you'll be surprised. Probably I'm in a generation of employees. When I started working, there was no emails, there was no mobile, right? There was no internet. So we all started with that, when I started my career. Can you believe? If I say this to my children, they may not even believe such a world existed. Okay, they will think this is some, different world, right? So
yeah,
but the point is today, if you go to and let's say the e-pay, right, the digital pay as a wave, today a vendor in the street uses, right. Initially, the waves were stopped, and computerization was questioned by the bank employees. I'm sure most of you will not know there was strike. The banking industry refused to say we don't want computers, right, in the 80s. Today, right? You go to a bank, server is down, everyone is in the smoking corridor, right? So the fact is, AI is a large wave. It's not
yeah.
a small wave. If we should get that right. Bank Bazaar as an organization isn't has realized it that this is a larger wave. So there are two, three responsibilities we take. One is how do we make Bank Bazaar as an AI driven organization,
Yeah,
right? Therefore, we are future ready. Two, how we make our employees, right, adopt to the AI space. First is the mental block. Second is the skill block. Third is the attitude block, right? So we are trying to thrash all this and see how they can be, AI enabled. Third is that what we can do for the society. That's our last, but we haven't. That's a not thought process. Probably we have to do some training to the college students or probably to our communities nearby. We'll see. But these
yeah.
three is our thing, and we have already into it. We have already adopted various AI techniques. At the same time, we are learning, and we are carrying all our stakeholders, including our employees, in the journey.
That's that's a very well covered up approach, and I'm sure Bank Bazaar as a brand is on that path to making this transformation. So, Sriram, thank you so much for pointing that out. Obviously, you have discussed that a bit in the skills part and the DI agenda. But one of the watershed movements, I think, in 2024 for HR leaders would be that the Gen Z workforce is on their way into the organizations, and the baby boomers are pretty much on their way out. So, this is one of those movements that we are trying to see and experience as a fraternity. So, that brings me, what is your take on this? That, how they are entering the workforce and how exactly their expectations differ from those of the previous generations. I think this has been like a long-standing challenge, Sriram, for leaders, that how they've kind of managed those expectations of multi-generational workforce. So, what is your take on this?
So I'm very positive about Gen Z, right? Kumar, I personally I believe interacting with the youngest of the lots possible in all possible opportunities. So I
Yeah,
find them very very sharp, okay, and very, especially in India, in context with India, they are a lot more risk taking. They are a lot more entrepreneurial than the previous generations. Now, in my generations, probably next, they were very hesitant to do anything on their own. The fear of failure was always there.
yeah,
But this generation is like raring to go. I'm like very, very positive about them. Extremely positive. I think I'm, very, very, I would say, this thing about it, positive about it. Now, the point is, this generation will come with their own approach to the work. Many of them will have individual criteria. What, in my view, is you need to handle them with a lot of exceptions. In the sense, just rule-based organizations would have worked for the earlier generations. This is a rule, just follow it. This is the way it works, follow it. Right? This is the organization standard, follow it. Now these people will come with a lot of exceptions.
yeah,
Okay. So the organization, more so the HR teams, have to take those decisions. Cannot, that's why I say the empathy comes. You just can't say I will not do this. I will not do that. The organization, I believe you are right, but we can't do, the rules won't allow. It won't happen anymore. This generation will not take it. The previous generation would have, but this current generation will not take it. They'll question the rules, they'll question the status quo,
yeah,
they'll be right in what they're asking. So therefore, the biggest challenge I expect is all of them will come with individual demands, needs from their perspective, because they have, see, there's few things, right? This is a very important question, and I probably will take some time to do this.
yeah,
First of all, many of them probably didn't have their full college course in person. Okay, that's something which keep be missing, right? A lot of them didn't have their schooling in person because of the COVID.
correct.
Okay? That's a very important thing. A college life indirectly does a lot of things to an individual in shaping their approach to the world, especially to the workspace, collective working. So this is something, this generation comes with that shock, right? And immediately after the COVID has come, the global depression, and especially in terms of various layoffs, right?
Yeah,
So now this generation will be carrying this unconsciously in them. And therefore, we need to see how to make them land and comfort in the right way, right? So you cannot handle them like the way you handle the previous batches. These batches are little unique. They are come, they will try their best to integrate, but you should always have that empathy. Hey, look, this guys didn't have this experience. This guy lacked it, right? In my view, they will look for a lot of emotional bonding. They will look for their so-called missed college students in the workplace, because I didn't have them there. I couldn't go physically in a workplace. So they'll be raring to go to the offices. If you give them an opportunity to work 5 days a week, this generation will love. Just because they would, if you compel them, that's a different reason. If you can tell them, "Hey, you can come all the 5 days if you want," they will come, because they look for that emotional bonding, new friendship, that collectiveness, shared purposes, shared beliefs, shared taste, shared interests, shared hobbies, which was missing in their college days just because of COVID, right? So there's a new gen, very positive, extremely sharp, very capable. I'm very positive, extremely positive about them.
wow. Thank you, Shriram. I think you really flagged all the green flags for us, if I could say, for the viewers. You've talked about, them being the risk takers. They have a high entrepreneurial spirit. You need to just, but I really, really like this point where you made out that, handle with them, with those exceptions. You cannot have like a one thumb or a, golden rule for them. It has to be very, very customized. So that's like a one important, I think, takeaway for
Yes,
the viewers as well.
yes.
And that kind of really puts me on the next question for you, that uh, how are your employee engagement strategies, especially when we talk about the remote and the hybrid work setups? What is some of the trends that you're seeing or you're experiencing?
So we've been on a hybrid mode for long, right?
Yeah,
And we have left to the employees' choice to come to work. We don't compel them. So it's a lot on that mode. So by then, a lot of people have new employees have come. There are employees who have joined and now been physically to office. We don't compel them; it's their choice.
yeah,
So, but the parallelly, while we realized that this is happening, we also thought one way of now collectively engaging them with others is to give them some constant focus, right? So we do have every in a very frequent scale, we have town halls that
okay,
everyone joins. Then we have mandatory skill upgrade programs that which we think is very beneficial, and we take the best of the topics. So a lot of them join, get to interact with each other. And third is that we do in various cities we do have in-person meetings in the sense that people come and join. We do it in locations where people prefer. So they all come and join once in a while, meet each one. Okay, we have so that basically, and we share what's happening across teams. In addition
right,
to it, what we have done from HR is we realized that post-COVID, mental health is a huge area, especially people from work from home. A lot of people have moved to their hometown because of increased rentals and school admissions and various reasons. So not going to work actually, I would say cutting across genders, a lot of where we see that there is stress. So what we
yeah,
have done is we have taken up a series of programs on mental health. So we have a full-fledged program going on and successfully for the last 33 months. This is the 34th month. So we have full-time counselors, we have psychologists, just not for the individuals, including the family, absolutely anonymous. We don't get to know who speaks to them and what's the issue. It's just between specialists, psychologists who are available, for whom the company pays, but they are available for the employees and their family. And in addition, we do a mental wellness training program by the experts mandatorily every month. Okay, so and we are trying to see what more we can do, but this is some space. In addition, we also do physical, fitness training program mandatorily. So we get experts to do them live yoga. So there are a set of people who participate and learn from them every month. This is again running for 30 odd months. So we focus on both. See, the reason why we are saying is if they are not working from office, we find their physical fitness is also becoming an issue. So
yeah,
therefore, we have those done. So there is a constant focus. Now, because of these things, employees are a lot more engaged between one on one. See, imagine you are a lot. I'm sure you will have a chit chat with the same sort of people with whom you do Zumba, right? Or with people whom you do your own gym, right? That's a different click.
yeah,
Likewise, if we call for a yoga month on month, there is a certain set of people who come for every session. And
correct,
when they do a live, they all click well. So there's a lot of bonding across teams. So the purpose is just not bonding alone, but it happens because of what we are trying to do in different facets. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's a focus area, and we are trying to be innovative. And that is a team thinking on a daily basis what we can do now. We do a lot of CSR activities. Um, the CSR activities is another one place where the families are invited.
right,
A lot of people with their family come. The families gets closer. They get exchanged. So they offline go and meet each other. The bonding becomes a lot more stronger. So we do this there's almost a CSR activity every month. If not, there are some challenges at least once in 2 months in various locations. And this is something which we are very proud of.
No, absolutely. I think, Shriram, that's very collective in the action and very holistic in its vision. So that is like the beauty of this narrative that you shared, and really, really appreciate that Bank Bazaar as an organization is doing so much for its employees, for their well-being, and for keeping them engaged and motivated. So this
Yes.
has been such a wholesome interaction, Shriram. Thank you so much for being so honest, for taking our viewers through all of these critical milestones of your journey as a brand as well. So, I mean, it has been an absolute pleasure for me.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you so
yes,
much.
for our viewers, this has been like a fantastic sum up. Let's continue to learn and grow together. And don't forget to tune in to our next episode of the We Talk Talent series. Have a fantastic day and thank you so much.